This week I read the story Monsieur Marceau, Actor Without Words by Leda Schubert. This book is about a man named Marcel Marceau. That actually was his stage name. He was Marcel Margall when he was younger, and he was known as the world's greatest mime. This book is just kind of a great children's book about his life. It gives you some background information into his life, but also a lot of the pages are kind of short and sweet and to the point. Marceau was born in a small town in France, and he was born to a family that was Jewish. He was raised Jewish, and he wanted to be a mime. He worked on it from a young age, and really was inspired by Charlie Chaplin. He would perform for his friends when he was a young boy, and when he was 16, World War II broke out, and his family was forced to flee their small town. The town's name was Strasbourg. He was forced to flee because they were Jewish. The entire family left. He did not ever spend time in a concentration camp. However, his father died in a concentration camp. When he grew to be a little older, he joined the resistance of the Nazis, and he actually led hundreds of Jewish children from an orphanage in France to Switzerland. It says in the book that they dressed up like Boy Scouts oftentimes to pretend they were going on vacation, and it does show an image of that. The images are painted. However, they show a lot of details in their paintings. It was illustrated by Gerard Dubois. His most famous character that he created as a mime was called Bip, which they said it was based off of Pip from Charles Dickens' Great Expectations. That's where he got his influence for that character. And Bip was the most famous mime character ever created. He was one of the most famous mimes, the most famous mime in the world. It does provide you a little more information in the afterword if you wanted to read that to students. But all in all, this is just a great short story children's book about miming. I think for an activity, I would look a little more in depth as to what miming was with my students, and then I would have them come up with their own mime skit. Maybe work in groups to brainstorm some ideas and then practice their own mime routine and perform it for the class. I think it would be a great way to incorporate some movement into a day, a little bit of fun, some humor, and I think ultimately that would be a really good thing for kids. If I were going to read this to a class, I would try to incorporate it in some type of art or movement study. I think you could do it if you were reading short stories about, ballet and musicians and mimes, and you could really kind of get into a whole theme here to do with your students and some kind of different creative activities you could do with that. Anyway, that's the book I chose. Thank you.